Now, your 41 NBC AccuWeather forecast, presented by Volume Chevrolet.
Well, welcome back. It is partly cloudy out there. Whoops, let's go ahead and get back to Dublin here first because we're starting. Yeah, partly cloudy, a little bit of that sun coming through. The large layer of cirrus clouds overhead. 77 degrees, feels like 79. Our dew point is at 58. Again, most of the dew points are in the upper 50s, low 60s right now. I don't think there's any rain around the area, but again, maybe a tiny shower down in Wheeler, Montgomery counties. The odds for showers today are not 0%, but they are very, very low. As mentioned before, there's the system getting going. Those storms all with severe thunderstorm warnings right now. A lot of wind on those. Today's level 4 threat off to the west. Yes, there's a tornado watch there, but the straight line wind threat is what is driving that. 56 degrees for our low tonight. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on these lows. Very mild night out there. And, you know, if you're going to be doing anything for your Friday night, things are fine. Now tomorrow, I would highly suggest against doing anything too crazy. Make sure you're able to get alerts through the overnight hours because this is very much an overnight threat. It will be after midnight and almost the entire region is under a level 3 risk. Let's go ahead and track this as we go forward. It actually starts tonight over in Mississippi. I feel bad for the Magnolia State because you've got a window tonight where nocturnal tornadoes are possible, and that carries into tomorrow morning. Then we see more storms. The main event firing up as notice how all these are independent cells. That's what you don't want to see because those independent cells, each storm can start rotating and spawn a tornado, and that's not your brief spin up type. Those are the ones that could be a mile wide, EF4, EF5, and be on the ground for several miles. So that's why this is such a scary event, especially off to the west. And you see how while it's starting to line up a little bit as it comes to the region, there's still some independence with those. So got to be able to get those alerts tomorrow night. If you live in a mobile home, have a plan to go somewhere else if a tornado warning should come down, as mobile homes are not safe to be in during tornadoes. Now the wind threat also still very much there. 30% wind odds for us, and severe wind is 60 plus miles per hour. However, this significant wind threat that we're seeing our western third of the counties in, that is 80 plus mile per hour gusts. So that is category 1 hurricane strength, guys. All right, so that is, again, overnight tomorrow night. The hail threat, not as big of a concern. We may get a little bit of that, but significant hail will stay off to the west in Alabama. You don't really see that into the Peach State. And then lastly, unfortunately, the tornado threat. You see it matches the levels in terms of severe overall. But what I really want to point out is this significant tornado threat. What does that mean? Within 25 miles of a point, it means that there could be 10% or greater odds for an EF2 or greater tornado. That is why you've got to be able to get those alerts. We're not just worried about a brief spin-up tornado. It unfortunately could be something a little more powerful than that. So getting a closer look, we're talking ambient wind gusts as well. Those are going to be increasing a lot as we move forward. Tonight, they kind of get a little strong, but really not picking up too much till we get into tomorrow afternoon. They'll range anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour during the day. Likely to be over 40 miles per hour as we push into the overnight hours. You see how the storms are starting to get in here between, say, 2 and 3 a.m. for the northwestern counties, and it'll be through the sunrise and into a little bit later after that we're still dealing with those. Now, they do weaken as they get into our southern counties here, which is why they're the level 2 versus a 3, but the risks are still very much going to be at play as we go through the sunrise, and then we're going to get clearer conditions and a lot of wind as we move into the later part of your Sunday. So to break it all down in terms of the risk levels for tomorrow, high wind is going to be the one that's most likely to be seen. However, the tornado risk is not on the low this time, so got to make sure you're able to get those alerts. The only thing I'm not too worried about really is flooding. Your extended forecast is coming up in 10 seconds. Your 41 NBC AccuWeather 7-day forecast is brought to you by Volume Chevrolet. Expecting severe storms to get our Sunday going. Obviously, those are largely going to be while it's still dark outside. Then we get into the new week. Sun will actually come back late Sunday, but looking really good. Windy on St. Patrick's Day for Monday, and then looking rather pleasant through most of next week.